was now a man who is often overheated, Dr. Marc Lamont Hill, who teaches at Columbia University.
That's pretty good.
So, thank you. I appreciate that. I work hard on the script. You know what I mean? I write it myself, and if I can insult you subtly, I
appreciate
I'll do it.
that.
Sure. Now, how do you assess this conference so far?
It's a complete disaster.
Is it really?
Of course it's a complete disaster.
Yeah.
There's tear gas, there's people being beaten down on the street, and more importantly, nothing substantive policy-wise is getting pushed
Okay, let's
forward.
take it one by one. What do these people want? You know these people. You like these people. You date some of them. What do they want?
They want justice. They want...
What does that mean? Tell me what they want.
For example, and Hugo Chavez said this yesterday, that what they want is a world where the developed nations pay their fair share. Right now, developing
Their fair
nations...
share of what?
Of the toll for carbon emissions reform.
So
right now.
they want the developed nations to give Zimbabwe money? Is that what they want?
Well, if you're calling for developing nations to completely convert the way that they deal with carbon emissions, then you need investments in the economy. The United States yesterday said that they're willing to give $1 billion. $100 billion is more likely.
Okay, so we don't have any money. You understand that, right?
Well, that's a different issue.
Okay,
we can debate that.
We're going to give $100 million. You want me and you, our tax-paid dollars, to go to Zimbabwe? Is that what you want? Is that what you're telling me?
What I'm saying is if we're asking developing nations to invest in carbon emissions reduction,
we have to pay for it.
We have to pay for infrastructure.
Okay,
because we emit the most. We emit the most, Bill. We emit 70% of it.
You know that no matter what money we send to Zimbabwe, one of the most corrupt countries on the face of the earth, or Sri Lanka, or any of the Somalia, it ain't going to go to carbon emissions. You know what I'm talking about? It's going to go for big dinners, for hookers. It's going to go to armies. It's going to buy guns and narcotics. So why the charade? We all know that.
There's a real concern about bureaucracy and some of the problematic infrastructures that some of those nations have. I don't disagree with that point.
You don't. But we still should send $300
No.
billion.
What I'm saying, though, is right now the United States isn't willing to pay its fair share. It's not willing to pay out of the global debt. Again,
debt.
There's a global
if you admit that
1.5
if you admit
in certain nations, I admit. I want to be clear. I'm not saying all developing nations are the way you just caricatured them. I'm saying that a few are.
Not all of them.
Yeah.
Some of them are.
Not even most of them, but a few of them. And you pick out a few. I mean,
most of them are corrupt. I'm sorry. I've been there. But you're saying that even though they are corrupt, we should send them money anyway.
Again, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that despite the fact that a few are corrupt, there is a large...
More than a few.
No, I disagree. But there's a more fundamental
point. You've been to Gabon?
I have not been to Gabon.
Okay, all right. More than a few. Now, they also.
It's totally not the point, though.
The global. Sure, it is.
No, it's not the point.
We can't send money to countries to clean up carbon emissions when it ain't going to happen.
Let me ask you a question to prove it's not the point. If all those governments ran exactly how you liked and they were completely devoid of any
I give them a little money.
Exactly. So, the issue for you isn't the corruption.
Here's what I do.
It's the fact that you don't want to pay the money out.
I send them 3 windmills and a little money. That's what I do. Now, China
you don't even take this issue seriously. This is the problem. You don't even take.
I don't take it seriously because it's a joke over there, and you know it's a joke.
Not. The conference is a joke.
Yeah, the conference. That's what I'm talking about.
The issue's not a joke.
No, but you can't solve an issue when China, perhaps the world's biggest polluter, all right? China says at this conference, yeah, we want to clean it up, but we're not going to do any verification. You're not allowed to verify anything that we say we're going to do. So then everybody should say, good night, everybody. Let's go home. Well, that's because it's ridiculous.
Well, that's basically what's happening. You got Brazil, you have South Africa, you have India, you have China. They're all basically saying, look, we're not going to do it.
We're not going to do anything. But why is Obama going there?
Well, because Obama's not blameless either. He's making the same mistake. He's refusing to follow the Kyoto Protocol. He's refusing to be legally bound. But so he's in bed with them.
But the United States has actually cut carbons. We've actually cut our emissions since 2005.
Yeah, because of a recession. But we need some kind of legal.
No, we've cut them pretty big.
Bill, in the last year, carbon emissions dropped by about 2 or 3. By about 200.
I don't know what the stat is, but since 2005, they've gone down significantly.
Yeah, but there's no projection with the booming economy that they would continue to go down. Right, we need some kind of regulation.
But if you have China and India, as you pointed out, and other countries basically saying, look, we're not going to do this. Why are they open in Copenhagen? Is it just because they like herring? Why are they there? Is there Danish? Is there free coffee?
Well, there's 2 reasons. One, part of it is just political posturing, and I think you're right about
ridiculous.
That. But there are real conversations to be had about the role that the developed world has to have and the responsibility that it has to the developing world. And right now, the developing world is struggling. Africa, in particular, is catching hell for this.
All right. But if you can't get the money to do what you wanted to do, you can't give the money. And if the big countries like China and India say, we're not going to cooperate, it's all a charade, isn't it?
I'm disappointed.
That's why I'm making fun of it. It's all a charade.
But instead of making fun of it, what we need to do is develop some sort of plan to move forward.
A plan to move forward.
A plan to move forward.
Okay. Well, you and I are going to go to Beijing and force them. Force them, okay? So, anyway, and I just want to congratulate the professor before we let you go, that he lost a bet. He gave me 10 points. The Eagles playing the Giants, and you paid tonight.
I did pay tonight.
And you know why I'm so happy about that? Because it's Columbia University money in my pocket.
Love
that.
It's dirty money, isn't it?
Right, Professor.